Art is a form of self-expression. It's an escape. It's a way of saying something without actually speaking. As an artist, where you come from can be very important. It can inspire the work you create and give the opportunity to represent one's home in a unique way. For us, that home is Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Albuquerque is a small town, but it still thrives and is filled with culture. We interviewed 2 artists of different ages with different backgrounds and disciplines from this city. We tried to really get into the minds of these creatives and discover what it is like to be an artist from this part of the country.
My name is Jonathan Tibbets, and I'm a graphic designer. I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico, and just the surroundings around me are just a really big inspiration for me. Same with Santa Fe. Albuquerque is just one of those places that you can't escape the nature and beauty of this place, especially with Bloom Fiesta and all of that. It's just, everywhere you go, it's a different style, different formation, different shape. It's just really inspires you. I'm a big sports guy, so a lot of it comes from, logo design, jersey styles, color formations. It really just helps me figure out how to design, who to design it for, and then kind of how to execute it within a setting, or how it appeals to the viewer's eyes. I've always had a creative side when I was younger. I've always inspired to be kind of a logo designer and kind of mess around with Photoshop, Illustrator, and design. Just everywhere you look, it's amazing to see these advertisements and pictures and artwork just kind of flow together, and I always wanted to build something just like that, especially with sports teams and how their jerseys and logos look. It's truly incredible. My process usually starts with an idea or a concept in my head. Like usually when I look at something or I get a quick idea on top of my head. And then at that point, I do a quick sketch, maybe once or twice, see what the format looks like. And then I go back to Photoshop or Illustrator, mess around with some images, concepts, composition, color scheme, and then I usually go back to it again and again just to make sure everything looks right, like how do I change this color style here, or what if I move this image this way. And then again, it's a process. Usually when you have an idea, it doesn't stick right away. It change over time. So the idea is to let the idea breathe a little bit, and then eventually you'll get your main product. But again, it takes time, it takes drafts. It doesn't happen overnight, that's for sure. There's probably one project I was working on and I couldn't figure out I went through multiple drafts about it, and I just couldn't hit that right note on how to execute it perfectly. So I really just turned to sports, played a lot of ultimate frisbee, played a lot of volleyball, and really just kind of figured out how their jersey styles and how they execute it, which made me go back to my draft and kind of finish up my original idea. I'm still trying to figure out what my personal style is, per se. For me, art could be anything, really. It could be any medium, it could be any composition it wants to be. It all depends on your perspective, how the world around you can be influential with art. You really shouldn't have any boundaries when making art. It could be anything you want it to be.
My name is Abel Cuevas, and I'm a percussionist. That means many things depending on the time and occasion. Sometimes I'm playing music on various instruments from drum set to keyboards, anything in between, things you've heard of, things you haven't, things you would laugh at. I do some teaching, work with the drum line here at UNM, and also do a lot of work with different school districts around the state. It just kind of depends on what sort of help they need, and if I can provide that, I'm happy to. I was originally from Texas, born in Galveston Island, which is just a little bit south of Houston. I didn't spend a whole lot of time there when I was a little guy, but I've been back a lot of times since and have sat in with musicians down there and also in the mainland, as they call it, down in Texas, so more up in Houston proper. And I found that I have a fairly deep understanding of styles that are associated with the Deep South, particularly styles rooted in American blues. I think there are some aspects of what I do that may not seem like there's an art to it, but there really is. I think one thing that a lot of people may not know unless they have done it themselves is that it's a great art to teach. You have to be incredible with your ability to perceive a person's state of being, their state of awareness, their state of emotion, their state of attention. And then you have to be able to translate to them in their way, not your way. And being beings that are so driven by ego, it can be nearly impossible for a person to learn to truly put themselves in the shoes of another. And I think that's what it takes to be a great teacher, is you have to be able to truly be outside of yourself and be able to be coming from the perspective of the person that you're working with. And with that comes the ability to improvise in a lot of ways, not just your improv chops, but being able to think on the fly and conduct a rehearsal or a lesson or an interaction or whatever it is in a way that gets everything done that needs to be done and moves people. I really don't feel that art is something I'm ever in control of. I think that comes back to the idea of feeling as if I never chose it, it chose me. I really just go with the flow.
So whether you're a musician,
photographer,
writer,
painter,
director,
or whatever medium you choose,
art is a gateway to the mind no matter what you're creating. It's our way of saying something that matters with a unique perspective.